Kuna mtu alikuwa anasema like tunakuwa na maybe a disagreement with my wife. Mimi nataka tuende kwa beach, my wife anataka tuende kwa mountain. And we always come to a compromise and we go to the mountain.
We are happy people. We got life, we got hope. Wanna share it to the world. We are the THUKU'S family. We are happy people. We got life, we got hope. Wanna share it with the world. We are the THUKU'S family.
What's up, people?
My name is Dominic.
And I'm Purity.
And together we are
the THUKU'S.
And we are here with only one purpose, to bring you love,
hope and good vibes.
So today we have a very interesting topic.
Very.
And even before we get into it, I think it's good we take this time and appreciate our
loved ones, our subscribers, our family, our community, basically.
Yes, our fans. By the way, mmekuwa very supportive, mmetupenda, mmetuonyesha mapenzi pale YouTube. And of course we really appreciate we are growing daily. Na tumesonga because of you guys. So
thank you guys so much. Mmetuonyesha so much love. We really appreciate that support. Keep doing what you're doing. We are on the road to 50K by faith. Mnaona vile tumefika hapa, tunakanyaga makubwa. So let's get it to 50K. We can, right?
All right.
Yeah, so what are we talking about?
So today I think we should handle a topic that people have been asking us questions. And especially people who are in the process ya kuingia katika ndoa or marriage. And of course those who are in it. It's never too late to learn a few things.
Sure.
And of course we have been on a journey together. Na kuna vitu tumerealize tulifanya right as we started. There are some that we wish we
learned on the job.
Tumesoma along the way. And today we are going to talk about the things to do before you get into marriage, especially
the topics to handle.
Yes, there are those things that people ignore. No, you time mnapendana, unasikia me I just want it tomorrow. Isipokuwa ni maybe lazima niende udhoni, sijui nifanye nini, sijajipanga poa.
I'm ready to marry.
Now, me I just want to get settled. Mtu mimi ananipa moto, nasikia yani kichwa imechemka.
So we got news for you.
Yes.
If you haven't handled these topics, chances are you're not yet ready to marry. And the problem is love is not enough. Marriage is more work than just love. Love is important, but there's so much you need to handle before you get to marriage. So that's what we are going to be tackling today. And I believe it's going to be very informative. Some of these things tulilearn tukiwa tushaoana, which if we had learned earlier, I think ingekuwa a plus for us. But the good thing is, as he said, it's never too late to learn. So today we are on a journey to learn about these are the topics that you should tackle. And if you did not, it's never too late. So you can always sit down, have this talk with your husband, with your wife, and forge the way forward.
And I think one thing that is very important for any structure that is built to last, foundation is very powerful and very important. You know, because if you start wrongly, in fact, they say this, that things don't go wrong, they start wrong. But and when you look back, there's always a place, kitu fulani mliignore, kitu fulani hamkuongelelea, then you are in there and you are realizing this is not what I bargained for. But funny enough that you didn't bargain. You never sat down and used wisdom and information, of course, so that you can be able to lay the foundation the right way. Because you know, one marriage tulisema ni kitu, the only thing unapewa certificate ya kufuzu ka hujaanza.
Before hata uingie class.
Vitu mingi unaenda class unamalizia then unapewa certificate. In marriage you are given certificate na hujaanza. Unaenda kusomea mbele and then unaambiwa there's no way out except.
There's no way out. So ukianguka ka huko ndani, jua how to do it right.
Uongeze
ushinde ukirudia class mpaka the time you learn how to do it right. But hakuna ati kutoka. You know, in life unafanya course, una realize course yenye ulikuwa unataka, unajitoa. Unfortunately there are people wenye wamefikiria sini huyu sina muacha tu, but that's not God's way of doing marriage. If that's the person you settled on, now realize there's something you're doing wrong, it's up to you. Go back to the crossroads, mjue ni wapi mnakosea. So because we want to avoid such kind of things, that's why tunawaambia mapema. This is what to do before you marry. And for those who are married and maybe you didn't handle some of these topics, sit down, talk about them, so that you know two cannot work together unless they agree. So unless you talk about these issues, you're not working together.
So maybe you can start out with the first one. That is very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are several. So they are not in any order. Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
So the first one, we'll talk about maybe a few myths that are related to marriage that people talk about. Na wanafikiria it's the standard of marriage. But maybe we can demystify that.
Okay.
So number one, there's this myth that men are from Mars, women are from Venus. So because of that...
You're saying it's a myth?
It's a myth.
Okay,
true. Well, it is true. But the myth is that because men are from Mars, women are from Venus, I think that's why maybe most people watasema marriage is a scam or marriage doesn't work.
Yeah. But actually that diversity, the difference in our intrinsic creation, Mungu alituumba, that's what brings beauty, other than making us a troggerhead. Yeah? I wouldn't want to marry myself.
I know.
Actually, like, you know, actually, I am looking for someone we are so similar. I think the beauty about it is, me stuck into ananika. I want someone who come and complement what I don't have. Yeah. Because one of the ways that we have been able to maybe to move on very well is because by the way we have very many differences. And actually we have been able to harness those differences for our own good.
For them to become strength.
Yeah, they have become strength. Yeah, so I think that's one.
Yeah, so the solution in that is actually understanding your diversity.
Yes.
What is it that makes you two different? And now working on those differences to come up with something that is more inclusive. So when it's purity alone, I can only go so far. But when it's purity and dominic, it brings a very nice cocktail.
Yes,
my strengths and your strengths are a wonderful synergy. My strengths and your strengths, they become one constructive thing.
True.
Right?
True.
Any other myth that you know?
I think the second one is about that men are generally polygamous.
Okay.
I think that one, in fact, I have realized our girls nowadays are saying it out there.
Yeah.
And they are preaching
and they've
it,
settled.
like, kubali too.
Yeah.
I think that's for me is a myth. Because actually, you know, that question came up one day when Jesus was talking to people. And people are talking about divorce. You put away this one, you marry this one. And Jesus said, it was not so from the beginning. Because the original idea of God was that a man shall leave the father and mother and cleave.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, one by one. You know, one woman, one man, and then form a family and become one. You know, when you have two, you cannot become 2 plus 1.
You cannot cleave.
That's not according to God's plan. And I think what has happened is that people have hijacked God's plan because the idea of marriage, what they are running with it. You know, people are getting philosophy, but I think if you go back to the original idea, it's supposed to be one man, one woman. So the whole issue is selfishness, and the aspect of people don't hawamini neno la Mungu. Number one, they also don't want to obey. Then wanaona kashida kadogo, they are ready to bolt. Greed. You know, you consider maybe getting another woman, because they usually say this, that most of the men wakati wamepata pesa, they are looking to get more men, more women to add to the number, because they are like acquisitions. Now wanawake now hawataki wanaume. When you get money, you become self-sufficient and you feel, I don't need him. But actually, I think if you look at the original order, men and women were created to be one. So hii issue ya kuwa polygamy is because of sin na kutotaka kuobey Mungu. You can be in marriage. I have been in one over years and I have never had any other eye apart from this girl.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Another myth is that conflict destroys marriages.
Yeah.
It is not conflict that destroys marriage. It is how you handle that conflict.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so kuna watu, they have given up because wako in a lot of conflict. But the point is, out of that conflict, like now we try so much that out of every conflict, to come up now what works for both of us. Because one thing we've come to learn is that not everything will work for both of us the same way. So once we understand the differences of our makeup, then we get to also understand how to handle conflict.
Yeah.
We also learn how to be better through this conflict. Sabu, unaona hata mbao, when it's rough, ikipigwa rada, it's not a smooth process, but as inaendelea kupigwa rada, it becomes smoother, and eventually, the final product becomes something you really want to look at, you want to touch, because ime smootheniwa poa. So conflict also comes to smoothen us. So utapata, the reason why actually most girls wanapenda married men, is because wamepigwa rada kwa marriage na conflict na hizi vitu ambazo watu wapendi. but because amepigwa rada, amekuwa a better person, there's a young girl somewhere mwenye ana feel nataka that finished product, but in actual sense it is that conflict ambayo uleta that beautiful product eventually.
So generally you are saying that all these things that maybe people say they work against them, you can harness them and use them for your good.
Yes.
Yeah, because when you talk about the word conflict, you know, it's good people understand. Conflict generally, we are different. I have a different brain. You have a different brain. You have a different outlook. Kutoka maybe kule umetoka, your biological makeup, hormonal makeup, all those things. Kuna vitu hatuoni the same.
Yes.
And the issue ambayo watu handle is who is right. Other than what is right. Because what is right, the truth is independent on its own. Si nani yako right ama? So if you are all seeking like, okay, mi nafikiria hivi, wewe unafikiria hivi, but what is the actual right thing? What is the truth? And as we seek the truth, we come to a consensus. It was not about you or me. Maybe I saw it differently. But at the end of the day, hii ndio ukweli. Na hii ndio inasimama at the end of the day. So no one is a loser. Because people have a competition like, okay, I know you may be right, but kini, staki ushinde.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are so many myths out there that work against marriage. Na zimeongelelewa very widely. They almost, I think, Neil, it like in a cut across every race, every generation, every age. But let's also work towards demystifying these myths through the Word of God. Because the Word of God, there's so much in Explain that has nothing to do with our opinions. Okay?
True.
So what are the topics that people should handle before they get married?
All right. I think generally there are many, as you are saying, but they are not in particular order.
Yeah.
And I think I'll start with one, which has to do with finances.
Okay.
I'm saying it's not in any order, but I think there are some things people ignore because this time you give the world for this person.
Yeah.
You don't care about those things. Let me tell you, sometimes it's good. Hiyo mapenzi tomato inapigwa break and you use your head, not your heart at a certain moment. So you talk about these things because they'll come up. And finances are some of the things that have brought a lot of conflict.
Yeah.
Some of them insurmountable. Watu wameshindwa kusikizana.
It's a very motivational.
Because you know, you're earning your own money. I'm earning my own money. Yet we have become one thing. Yet we are supposed to, you know, you use finances in a home to run the home toward a certain direction. Tutazitumia aje.
Yeah.
That is something people are not able to agree from the beginning. Because you rather take as much time before you get in than say, wacha tufike huko ndani, mambo itaenda kujipanga. By the things, vitu hazijipangangi, watu hupanga. Na hizi vitu zitest. Kama tuwezi sikizana juu ya do even before time, my sister or my brother take time.
In fact, kuna mtu alikuwa anasema whatever you're going through wakati una date, magnify it 10 times. So kuna watu ambao usema I know right now kuna red flags but atabadilika. Hata change. Itakuwa only worse.
Yeah.
If today I'm seeing red flags, maybe anashinda kinidanganya on issues. Tukioana, mauongo zenye nita handle will be of a serious magnitude. So those are things you should not ignore. Kama hamskizani about how you'll handle money. From the word go. You know, there are people, I mean, different people handle that issue differently. Kuna watu wanachoose watakuwa na a joint account. Kuna watu wanaona they're okay. I'll have my account, you'll have your account. Kuna watu wanasema wewe utakuwa na handle rent na school fees, mimi nitakuwa na handle the household matters. But wanaweza kuagree from the word go. So before we get married, we cannot assume that tukiingia vitu tu zitajipanga. Those are things we should agree right from the word go. So that isifike your time, and now we can't agree, but we are already in it. So inakuwa ni a point, inakuwa ni a pain point forever.
I think the next thing that is very important, especially since we mention issue ya conflict, because conflict in any disagreement that cut across many other issues that we talk about, is the issue of kuagree mambo ya how do we speak to one another, our communication, because communication is everything. Most of the time ukiangalia hata issues zimeleta mpaka divorce, ni kitu watu walishindwa maybe kukaa chini waongea, you know, ama they applied the wrong ways of handling conflict. Because one thing I think we were taught, because me initially wakati nilioa na nikafikiria, because I love this girl so much, I think I want to be a peacemaker. I'll be nitakuwa above board. So most of the things nilikuwa najipata most of the time, and I think I've even talked about that. This is another place. Time ya kutafuta peace, una placate. So in short, I'll take the...
What is placating?
Placating is the aspect of taking the blame. like me for the sake of peace. Na you know, you guys you are very well enabled. Unaweza stone wall, unaweza nyamazia mtu umekasirika na umeamua kunyamaza. Mimi naamua hata ukiwacha tu nyamaze sote. After a week, not a week, like after a day, mimi nimesikia now we have to talk. Kwani issue ni gani? So I come and try to seek peace, and nikisikia maybe what you need is just niseme I'm sorry. Even if I'm not seeing it, na tujaongea about it, I'll just come and say I'm sorry, and then tumalizane. Na hiyo inaitangwa placating. And over time, I realized like things don't solve themselves. And actually time doesn't solve anything unless you talk about something and talk about the truth. What happened? Wewe unakujanga ukitafuta amani unanyamazia. Another time unanyamazia. Ule mtu mwingine ina build the wrong way kwake, kwa sababu yeye haoni pia anaweza kuwa on the wrong. Na wewe pia inajaa ndani yako, inakuwa you know ka pressure fulani. And one day unapata mtu alikuwa very a peacemaker, amelipuka. Amejaa mpaka akalipuka. You know? And then what you do, you also encourage the other person to do another form inaitangwa blaming. You know, because where you are ready to take the blame. So most of the time wewe ndio. So when you do the sum total, unapata wewe kazi yako ni kuplacate, huyu mwingine naye ni kublame. You know? I think that's something that people, I think we had that, personally I had that issue when we started. And I realized unless something is solved, ama tukisema hata ni stonewalling, wewe utaniongelesha, things don't solve themselves. So you have to come down together. And therefore, that's why we were saying conflict can be healthy if you know how to handle those issues. If you're not handling who is right, it's about what is right. I think that is very important. And I know you can add another one. Maybe ile umetumia sana. Gani? Si hizo zingine ambazo maybe that are involved in conflict resolution, ambao unakuwa it's not the healthy way to handle conflict within marriage. And people do that. Even these things you are still doing even up to now.
Yes. So one of the ways that's not healthy in handling conflict, kuna kitu inaitwa harsh startup. Like first of all, naona umefanya kitu mbaya, then in my mind nimeshajijazia, nimeamua umefanya hivi maliciously, ulikuwa na ubaya na mimi. So before hata ujue niko na ubaya na wewe, already nakuja na ubaya.
Yeah.
Harsh startup. What that does, inafanya mwenye amekujua hivyo, mwenye amekujua hivyo akuwe defensive.
Yeah.
And now the problem is akikuwa defensive, it only causes more trouble than helps. Kwa sababu mimi nimekuja nikifikiria na communicate so that you handle it, but wewe pia umefeel attacked.
Yes.
So what you do, you become defensive, and the next thing, it's only getting worse. It's not getting any better. When especially someone cannot take responsibility of what they have done, yet I'm feeling I'm any offend in this kind of way. So it only makes communication worse.
Yeah.
So what someone is supposed to do, assume best intent. Like uni bwana yangu ananipenda. Hivi vile amefanya, kuna kitu inaitwa misunderstanding. Could there be a misunderstanding?
Yeah.
You know, we always say, acha tuache that chance, I could be wrong. So naweza kwa yes nimekuwa offended, but I could be wrong in the intention I have placed on the person.
Yes.
So when I come with a harsh startup, ni kama nimesha kujudge already. So what we should do, let me assume first of all best intent. So that pia nisaidie kutulia. And I take my time. Breathe in, breathe out. If it helps, by the time nakuuliza about it, I should not also attack. I should not blame. I should say kulingana na mimi.
Yeah.
Or how it has made me feel.
In those setup, especially mpaka hata sisi umeokoka. Realizing in a couple, kuna moja who is the judge. Kazi yake ni kufanya kitu ni you always, you know, those judgmental kind of. So by the time you tell someone, you know, you never listen to me. You never, you know, all those things, they are like, you're already making judgment. Kitu ina happen, and I think I was one of those people who, nilikuwa, the judge asema, you never, you know, nimi kuambia, you never, and over time, as I continue to learn about communication, you realize, toa hiyo word, you can say, I'm feeling. Because what I'm feeling may not be what.
Or I wish you could.
Yeah. So that the word you use is very important. Number 2, kuna wengine wanaitangwa psychologist. Kazi yao ni mimi nakujua. I know, ukifanya hivyo I know what you are. I know, mimi hata nilikuonea. You know, mtu kuna time nilikuwa nasikiza stories zangu kutoka kwako. Then I'm like, okay, mimi mwenyewe hata sikuwa nimejua. Wewe umejua aje, the psychologist, anakudecipher your mind. Yeah. Then mimi kuna mahali mimi nilikuwa preacher. Unajua sisi watu pena wa kiroho. So unasema wewe ni priest, so kuna issue hapa, lakini unaenda kumwambia no, the Bible says you should forgive. you should forgive me. You know, you cannot demand even those things as much as they are in the word. Wacha yeye aende anini find out. But in the crisis, that's not the time to start picking words.
Yeah.
Okay, drop.
Enforcing order through the word.
Yeah, like you are using the word of God.
Says.
The word says, you know. So that's something that you find also people misuse, especially in communication. Yeah.
So there are very many ways of handling conflict, but the point is, first of all, handle yourself before uende uanze ku handle the other person. Because at the end of the day, we are both players in this marriage. Na siwezi kuamini nitakuja nikuwekelee yote wewe ujue vile utaihandle. That way I'm damaging more than I am mending. Yeah. We go to the third one?
Yeah, you can go to the next.
All right. So the third one is a very sensitive topic na wanaitwa in-laws.
In love ama in-laws?
In loves. In loves.
Yeah.
In-law wanaitwa in-laws. See what I did right there?
I did.
So, in-laws. Of course, in-laws ni his people towards me and my people towards him. And again, we are saying this is not like the standard way, but we are talking about the things that have worked for us. Na zenye tumefeel if we had not handled before marriage, maybe zingekuja kuwa kikwazo when we are now married.
Yeah.
So in-laws, this is the thing. When my husband was born na amelelewa, there are those people ambao amekuwa nao. Same thing to my side. When I met him, it's me who fell in love. Not my mother, not my father, not my sisters, not my people. So, this process of marriage, I am selling my husband to them. And this is what happens. My people see my husband through my eyes. So if I'm always going to complain to my people about my husband, the picture watapata ya my husband haitaikuwa corrected.
Yeah.
Because even if today tukosane na my husband, mi naye tutarudi na tutareconcile. But he will not go back to explain how we handled the issue. So this is one thing I believe. Number one, you should, first of all, protect your husband, protect your partner, protect your wife from your people. And not to say they are bad, but it is to say the same thing that offend me, now them it will offend us. Because they are not the ones who are in love with this person.
Yeah.
So, kama niko na issues na yeye, my people should be the last people I complain to. And this is a trap ambayo I think most women we fall prey to. Kwa sababu women are emotional. Nikikosea wanataka kwenda ni feel mahali my emotions are validated. And where is that place? Mostly of course to family. Yeah, these are people who understand me from nikiwa mdogo. There are people who maybe tunafanana. Because you know pia mahali nimelelewa kuna characteristics unaweza pata zinafanana. And so maybe they may not be offended by what is offending you.
True.
Okay? So wewe ukiambia mtu wenu kile umefanya ikani offend, they may find me petty. Na pengine wataanza kuona ni kama I'm the cause of all the trouble in our marriage.
Yeah, and I think even I may add something. Sorry, nimekukatiza.
Okay.
One thing I find is if we just take the word of God for what it is, no suggestion. Because I think most of the time we negotiate with it.
Yeah.
You know, Mungu akisema uache, especially us, tunaambiwa tuache our mother and our father and cleave to the wife. I think Mungu alikuwa anajua more than we think. You know, especially na niongeleshe wazazi because we have parents who hataki kuachilia watoi wao. You know, you can come anytime, tell me stuff. I think when someone gets into a marriage, waondoke, waachie Mungu. You can help from afar, but most of the things, wacha wakuwe independent. Because the Bible is very clear. If there are conflict to be handled, let them handle. And I think that's why it's very important to have best couple, people you can work with, people you can now take your conflicts. Because most of the time watu upeleka issue.
And who are also independent from your family.
Yes, because kuna issues mnakuwa nazo, mnapelekea watu wa familia. Nyi mnakuja because you are in love, of course. Mnarudi mnasikizana. Sasa how you go back and udelete ile picha uliacha umepaint kule, inakuwa blanda. So, watu waachane na watoto. Wakioa ama wakiolewa, wacha waende waanze maisha, waombe. Kama the same, wale wameolewa, achana na wazazi sasa, anza familia yako. Tafuta Mungu, tafuta best couple. Hiyo inastahili kuwa before ufike kwa familia, kuna the church, kuna the uanze na best couple, kuna the church. Now of course it's good to have peers who you walk the journey with and also compare because some things are not very difficult. Unaenda kusikiza mtu unasikia I thought I'm the only one who is going through is unique to me. Kumbe people are going through that. So I think the issue of in-law is generally people don't want to let go. According to the way word has instructed us, and also the wisdom For example, there are some things to agree. If, for example, mimi I would like my mom, if he has to ask something from me, or she has to ask something from me, acha tuende through you. Acha nimuonyeshe, like you are also part of this. Unajua na feel like nataka kuja kwa my son. The same also with your parents. So we agreed, let us now, kama ni kwenu tunaenda, mimi ndio nitapeana whatever we have. Kama ni kwetu, it's me. So through that, watu realize now, hata watu wetu maybe wakitaka ku reach out, they reach out through you. And also the same, your people also reach through me. So they have realized like we are so bound together, and there is nothing that is secretive between us.
And what that does, wakati mwingine inaleta shida in the sense that if I'm always asking, say my brother, assuming in this couple, the man is my brother, I'm always asking him for money, ananipea, the day I will ask ninyimwe, I'll start seeing the wife as the problem. So what that does, it ruka hiyo barrier, inaenda kwa the in-law. If you ever want anything, talk to my husband. So kama sasa, if it's say money, and I have a sister, a cousin, a parent who wants money, na nipigie, nisaidie na hii 2,000 inahitajika bla bla, nitawaambia wait, let me talk to my husband. Okay? Na hiyo pesa ikitumwa, ni yeye anatuma. Wakati lete haipatikani, I'll take the bullet. Or rather, ni mimi nitajirusha under the bus and say, well, unfortunately, sahi na feel kama tumefinyika, hatuwezi wapea. So, when I'm taking the bad side, hawezi nichukia. Because wanajua, mimi ni ule wao. But wakati yeye ndo huwa anawapatia, over time they start feeling, naitwaje? Wanakupenda tu naturally. They start feeling, what is it called? Iyo kuwa favorite. Wana feel imepotea, but yani wanaanza tu kukupenda naturally. So when you take the fall, when it comes to your family, hawawezi draw a line between husband and wife, because wanajua hakuna ati kitu our sister utufanyia more special than what her husband does to us. Na pia siwapelekei mashida, so they don't see you in a certain bad light.
Wow, that's very enlightening. I don't know. We should do the last one, or how do you feel?
Yeah, I think we can. One more.
Yes. I think this is very pertinent, especially to the ladies. Juu ya watoto, unataka watoto wangapi? You know, unasikilingi hiyo tutaenda kusovia kule, you know. And watu wanaenda kule kupata conflict. Mimi nilikuwa nataka mmoja, wewe ulikuwa unataka watatu, yeah. And then that's something we discussed before we got into this, and
actually, no,
we compromised.
Anakuanga na mtoto nje ya ndoa, like hata wameoana, akaenda akapata mwingine, yeye alisema mimi I wanted 4. Yeye alikatalia watatu.
Yeah, it's a very pertinent issue. For example, when you were starting out, you wanted 3?
Me wanted 3.
I wanted 4.
He wanted 4.
Yes.
Luckily, these are things we talked about before we got married.
Yeah.
Because
who carried the day?
You carried the day. But also because
it was an agreement, of course.
But also I would also feel mwenye anataka more anafaa kuwa considered.
No,
because if I want, it's a compromise, yes. My feeling though, mwenye anataka more anafaa kuwa considered. Because if I want 3, I do have 3 plus 1. If you want 4 and we have 3, you'll always be feeling, I wish I had 1 more.
Yeah. But
anyway,
but I think I think the whole point is compromise.
Yeah.
So kuna mtu alikuwa anasema like tunakuwa na maybe a disagreement with my wife. Mimi nataka tuende kwa beach, my wife anataka tuende kwa mountain. And we always come to a compromise and we go to the mountain. So at the end of the day, I think the point is kusikizana and then don't apply pressure. I realize like si tulienda tu, and then by the time tulifika now after kupata watatu, wanne hata wewe ulikuwa but if I forced it like pale tukianzia, you had the idea that I had, we had agreed okay, because hata mnaweza anza na mkose mtoto, you know, mnaweza kosa mtoto, but the most important thing is if God blesses us, I think mimi naweza prefer hapa. So there are some which are deal breaker. Kuna mtu anasemanga mimi kama hiyo hatuwezi sikizana, hatuwezi yoana. So baada ya mwende mfanye hizo vitu mkiwa mmeingia ndani, si msikizana mapema and find a compromise. And of course, uko mbele mambo huenda inajipanga. Hata sometimes unaweza amua maybe hata sisi maybe tutapata kauze.
Maybe we adopt.
Maybe
we adopt.
You never know. So I think nasikia kama tumetakwa a few.
For maybe, today?
Yes, for today. Yeah. So I don't know what you guys think.
Or what questions you have.
Yes.
Maybe you could be having questions that, or even pointers. Unaweza kuwa na maswali ya how about this, how about that, or you could be having pointers like, I think you guys should talk about 1, 2, 3 things.
Bwana tuandike hapo kwa comment, especially that topic tumeongea.
Comments pia hizi topics zinakuanga very hearty issues, because if you're talking about something that can destroy a marriage, I mean, these are destiny matters. So you can write on the comments below tujue some of the topics you'd want us to handle in terms of what should be handled before marriage ama kitu kayo. We will share what we've learned, and we also want to learn from you. Maybe kuna mtu, as I was saying, akona pointers like this one should be handled, this one haifai kuachwa nje, this one should be handled differently, because pia tunaweza kuwa tumediscuss kitu kulingana na just how we know it. Maybe you know better.
We are not the script.
No,
like
we are not.
This is how things are done. But I think because we are talking about what has worked for us, that doesn't necessarily mean that it will work for another person. But generally, kuna ile the principle behind something. Your principle doesn't change. The modalities of doing things will change kidogo, lakini principle remain the same. So I think we cannot be exhaustive about this topic. So tunaweza endelea kuengage, tunaweza taka kuengageana one amongst us, each other. So we are open, by the way. Comment hapo kwa comments. And of course, we are willing to walk this journey as we share and also get inspired by you guys.
So guys, thanks again for watching. The first time watchers, make sure you keep coming back. Karibu sana.
Subscribe.
This is home. We talk about all the issues. We talk about fun, we talk about family, we talk about marriage. So make sure you subscribe and always come back. So which means utafinya pia notification bell so that every time you're uploading content, you're also notified. And also thank you so much for the Premier Gang. There are some of you tumekuwa tukiwaona. Sasa tutaanza kutuma ma shout outs because you guys are just special to us. And amazing please people. Comment, share, like, keep subscribing, guys. But thank you so much for being part of this THUKU'S community. And we look forward to having you guys again.
Na hope hamjachoka, mmetusikiza. And of course, unaweza kuwa wewe you are not applying it, but you can also tell a friend and comment this video. Of course, hata wale watu wanapanga harusi, guys, we are there to work with you, and marriage is beautiful. Na tunapenda mapenzi sisi. Tunapenda, tunaendelea, by the way. It is beautiful. Mapenzi ya dunia.
So guys, thank you so much for being with us. And what do you say to this guy? Bye.
Bye bye, guys. Bye. See you on the next video.
See ya.
Bye bye.
We are happy people. We got life, we got hope. Wanna share it to the world. We are the THUKU'S family. We are happy people.